ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app. Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. Yes, we're back. Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors. Midday Market Report, our weekly Tuesday spot with Andrew McInnis at Wager Talk at McInnis A little recap of what's going on in the NHL, and of course, close out with the pucks, props, and ducks. So without further ado, let's bring him in, Mr. Andrew McInnis. What's up, Andrew?
Mr. Jeff, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Looking forward to a good slate. Looking forward to my Montreal Canadiens being back in action. And I'll tell you, I went 1-1 last night with NFL player props. And it's always a good feeling, especially with the pick selling business, to hit the bigger one. And I'll lose the smaller one every day of the week if it means I hit the bigger one. Would I like to go 2-0? I sure as hell would love to go 2-0. I don't know how many times in my household last night I screamed and yelled, give the ball to Travion Henderson. Just give the ball to, he's the better back. He's the better back. And I needed 65 yards. I think he landed on 67 or 68. So that one worked out. As far as the NHL, 1-1 night for me there. Pittsburgh, or with the bigger plays, Pittsburgh gets the job done, but Utah team total. Jeff, I'll tell you right now, these team totals, we got to find a new price range. The plus 100s, the plus 105s, they're letting us down here because every other team hit their team total, and then the Sharks just absolutely dominate the Utah Mammoth. I thought yesterday San Jose was a public dog, and those usually have fleas, so I kind of stayed away from that one. And then, of course, Utah, they just got worked last night.
Well, it's comedy, too. ECSI VIPs 2-0 last night. Middle Tennessee, we had them plus 1.5. I had some people reach out to me, and their line had flipped like they got our alert as they cruise big second half. And I love these. Team total over 75.5. Lands on 76. They got to 76 with 3:06 left in the game. We cash. They didn't score another point, Andrew.
I got to give you credit because, first of all, thank you to you for that play, as always, because, the reality is this here, Jeff. I'm sweating the picks a lot of the time, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm doing it 100% of the time. So when you sent that text back to me, it made it that much funnier because I was like, oh, okay, like, that's nice to get a winner like that. And I checked because I actually found I got the email. So at Wager Talk, I get an email with the grade, right? So you have won or lost your play. So I'm like, right on, here we go, Jeff. Let's go. Good start to the week. So then I search up the score and I'm like 76. And then you text me back that, it's one of that's college basketball for you, though. That is college basketball for you. I mean, the thing that I always get the most blown away by is like you'll have like a point spread in NCAA football or basketball that will be like 34 points and the game lands on 34 or 35. And it's like, how are they doing this? How are they so good? It's unbelievable how it works. But then you look at it like you said, Jeff, and it's like, okay, well, maybe the odds makers got this team total right, but they also didn't score in the final 3 minutes. So who was right?
And college basketball is so bad when you're pacing so far ahead and you're already checked it off as a winner, and then you see no scoring in 6 minutes, and then you're like scratching your head because you just don't know. And so that's part of the, I don't want to say fun, that's part of the agony or the victory. And truth be told, Monday night is bowling night. I came out of retirement, and first time I bowled on Monday nights in 3 years. I saw down one at halftime, I think 33-32, obviously not pacing. And then my first flash 5 minutes in was 45-39 lead. Truth be told, I didn't look at it again until the final. And I did the same thing. I'm like, well, they blew them out. Then my eyes were flocked on the +1.5 or whatever you got for a line win there. But we doubled down, and I saw 76, and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. And then I circled back 75.5, and then I did the same thing as you. I'm like, whoo. Usually it's that free throw with 3 seconds left. The key to overs is a closer game. The final 2 minutes, you can score 25 points. In other words, other team scores foul, other team scores foul. And I circled back and I was like, 3:06 to go. They hit 76, and then I see clank, clank, clickety, clank, clank, clank. And I'm like, woo!
Well, Jeff, I've been trying to work on celebrating that more. And you know what's funny is people in these lanes will say, act like you've been there before with this. But I actually think for your mental health as a sports bettor and a sports handicapper, just with your buddies, like just me and you, like talking together, not like in a cocky way on social media, it's important to celebrate because think about this. How mad would we have been if the game landed on 75 or 74, right? We would be furious. So you need to have that same, energy towards the win as well. But it's like they said in Two for the Money. You don't make a bet expecting to lose. So when you win, doesn't really get you that fired up. But when you lose, you're pissed. Well, we gotta have some excitement within us for wins like that, And it's like those empty net goals that neither of us have been getting this season. When we get one in for the first time this year or an overtime winner, we're gonna be fired up.
And lastly, I've said this now, we're wrapping up our 10th year of public service. We've had runs second to none, 2017, 30-3 in conference championship and March Madness. We've had endless 17-3s, 21-3s, yada, yada, yada. But the comedy is this, and I always say it this, you can have a 9-1 run and the people will remember the 1 loss, not the 9 wins. And just like you were saying earlier in the show about the Utah and the team total, and how pissed you are, the eyes flocked right to the negativity, and that's just how we're wired. We're just creatures of habits, and to win by a half point. And to be on the right side, I always say traction, traction, and traction. Maybe that's the start we need.
Well, and the thing is, Jeff, I feel bad because I don't want to always be venting to you. And I know you don't want to vent to me too much. So we got to celebrate together. But it's true. Like there's certain things that are going to like I feel like I've texted you more recently, like been like, I should have given out the Buffalo Sabres or I should have done this. Because it's like, it sounds weirder to text you and be like, I had a great call on this Penguins pick tonight. Like it's almost like you're more wired in your brain to complain about stuff than you are to celebrate something that you did that's good. But that's because that we're looking at it all day long. We're looking at the board yesterday, and I always give you credit, and I'll continue to give you credit for the way that you've taught me to read the board better and look at things and look at the outside picture. And, I follow the NHL so closely and listen to like 5-10 podcasts, each week I'm just drowning in information. Sometimes that can help me. Sometimes it can hurt me because I'm hearing so much lineup information, injury information, trade talk. And so when you're reading the odds, you're just letting the odds kind of tell the story for you. And man, oh man, I know we want to get to today, Jeff, but I stared at Buffalo all day yesterday. And I know a lot of people that like the over in that one. And I know Hellebuck has been injured. And I'll tell you, the reason why I didn't bet on Buffalo, and I know it sounds like a real bad reason, was I was like, this team couldn't have been that bad, right? Like, they couldn't have been relying on their goalie that much, could they? And I guess it's like, well, maybe I'm forgetting that this goalie actually won the MVP of the league. This goalie was a huge part. And it's not like Comrie's playing horribly, the backup, but this is no Allmark and Swayman 1-2 punch, that's for sure.
Before we get to the board, but my headliner, and we talked about it last week, we talked about it on your channel. Can anyone stop the Avs? And 18-1-6 They're 18-1 in regulation. And the comedy is we have done zero NBA. We plan to do zero NBA, maybe after the All-Star game, obviously the playoffs. But the funny thing is OKC is 20-1 as well. So you got the Avs at 18-1 and 6 regulation, leading the NHL and the Western Conference. And then you got the returning champs, OKC 20-1. But what I was going to ask you, instead of can anyone stop it, I don't want to say this is meaningless because every game you get a point, you get 2 points. You're building stock here. But for the last handful of years, we've talked about value. The Avs have started slow. The Avs are banged up. Get that 10-1. That is long left the barn here. Do you just grab the chalk right now? And because it's, because we missed the boat there. I mean, 18-1 and 6 in NHL hockey. And the funny thing is they host Vancouver tonight. Overnight, they opened up minus 331. Yeah. What happens on a Freaky Friday when they played the dredge of the dredge and they're minus 500?
Jeff, this is the thing is that a lot of times I would wait to make my future bets around Christmas time, around New Year's. That's kind of how I always roll. And it's for the exact reason that you just brought us in with. You're going to get more value. You're going to be able to pick off some of these teams. But if I'm going to talk about how the NHL has more parity than lots of other sports, I have to look at the other side of the coin. And I got to look at what you just brought up about the OKC Thunder. Now, OKC, and you look at the Dodgers in the MLB, and I've never seen you go back at me like you did about the Dodgers' greatness, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it because that's part of sports, and it's so interesting. But one thing that I love about hockey, and look at this year, I mean, the Buffalo Sabres, the last place team in the Atlantic Division, and they're like a handful of points away from being in a playoff spot. You've got the Anaheim Ducks, weren't good for years. They're back in action. San Jose, they draft a good player. Bedard with Chicago. You get my point. But what I'm trying to say here, unfortunately, with this game that I love, recently, ever since the last time we've seen it, besides the COVID year with my Habs, was the St. Louis Blues. Recently, it's been a lot of the top dogs that have gone to the Stanley Cup Finals, that have gone to the Western Conference Finals. Now, here's something that we all need to realize is that last year, the Florida Panthers were one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, right? Do you remember, Jeff, what position they went in to the playoffs as? Very, very similar as the LA Dodgers did this past spring or fall. So it almost and it's like something that you've always said to me as well. Like it's about like ranked teams in college versus the point spread. What do you believe, the ranking or the number? I mean, why is it that Florida limped into the postseason or they didn't have the best number, but why were they favorited? So I have to mention, I mean, you're right. Looking at, if you can get plus 400, plus 450, whatever it might be, I think that's the way to go about it. I always try and stay away from my biases when I'm actually making bets. I will be I will not hide them when I'm cheering them and tweeting about them and posting about them. But I'll tell you right now, I'm going to tell you, and both these guys are Canadian players, so I'm not taking anything away from it. I think that Nathan McKinnon, probably for the second year in a row, is the best player in the world, Jeff. I do. Mm-hmm. And everybody has this moment in their life where they're like, okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit old. And I'll go on podcasts and people are talking with me or they're bringing up players that I don't know from, when I was too young, right? But now the generation below me, they're just massive, massive Connor McDavid fans, right? It's Connor McDavid's better than Sidney Crosby. Connor McDavid is better than Wayne Gretzky. Connor McDavid is better than Nathan McKinnon. They are obsessed with Connor McDavid because of the flash. Well, Nathan McKinnon right now is plus 225 to win the Rocket Richard Trophy. Not to mention he's minus 130 to win the Hart Trophy. I think honestly, if there's any value as well, I think the minus 130 on the Hart Trophy is there. Because This one's kind of interesting. So your guy Morgan Geeky, he is nowhere to be found when it comes to these odds. But he's going toe to toe with McKinnon, but he's nowhere to be found on this list.
Well, I was going to be sarcastic. I was like, I thought you were talking about Gordon Geeky, and there was a tweet out there about how disrespected he is. Again, I've said it 10,000 times. I'll say it 10,001. Since January 1st, last year, the 3 top goal scorers in the NHL are Nathan McKinnon. I was going to say Bergeron. Pasternak and Gordon Geeky.
It's unbelievable. Like I also love how humble he is, Jeff. He seems like a real humble guy. He said like, "Oh, I don't even belong in these conversations." It's like maybe you do, man, because you look pretty good. You're a pretty good player.
I know you got a show. We're going to be back on your channel on Friday morning. There's a huge slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't want to make Dan mad. We'll give you about 5 minutes. Pucks, props, and thoughts, where your eyes are seeing. And, of course, everyone make sure at 11 o'clock Eastern, 12 Andrews time, you jump on over to Wager Talk and watch his Puck Time show as well.
I appreciate it, Jeff. And Dan is actually in the air right now, so I got to produce and host the show. So I'll be doing all that stuff. So I definitely can't be late for this one. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I was a bit nervous for the Ottawa-Montreal game today. But with Winnipeg coming to town off that loss they're coming off of and off that players-only meeting, I think this is a real important interdivisional game for them, especially coming off that loss they had against Colorado. We always say the first game back after a road trip, but the good news is, Jeff, this is the first game back after a road trip. The road trip was on Saturday, ended on Saturday, right? So they get back. They had Sunday. They had a family skate at the Bell Center. They had Monday to relax and then have a practice in the afternoon. And then you get to recoup. You have your morning skate here today. So it's like, oh, this is the first game back after a road trip for the Habs. It's like, it's not the same prototypical first game back as you'd usually think here. I'm going to elect to go towards props here. This is, to me, a Cole Caulfield type of game. For whatever reason, I can't explain to you why. This Ottawa Senators team has really good defense, but against Cole Caulfield's position, they don't do very well. And I'm going to pull it up here. They are 25th in the league. Well, I guess this isn't that great. They're 25th in the league in goals allowed, but 30th in goals allowed against right wingers. They are 4th in the league. This is what I meant to bring up. They are 4th in the league, this Senators team, Jeff, against shots on goals. But they're 21st in the league as far as right wingers shots on goals. And some of these websites that provide this information, it's so impressive because you're like, okay, how can a team be so good against shots on goal, but it's so bad against a certain position? So we're going to do a little sprinkle, a little pizza, a little beer and pizza, as you like to say. Plus 161 on the goal prop. And you can look at the shots on goal prop as well for him to get at least 3 shots on goal, minus 135. You can juice that up to 4+ shots on goal at plus 185. So I like that one quite a bit. Looking down the list, there's a lot of good games to mention, but the bets I like today so far, they're not all the prettiest. Calgary, Nashville. I like the over 5.5 in that one. This is one of those games here, and I know 5.5s, they're 5.5 for a reason. You've got a Calgary team that is right now, what's the number here? 8th in the last 10 games, 5-on-5 expected goals for. Nashville, 11th, 5-on-5 expected goals for last 10 games. If I were to tell you that, you might not believe me because these two teams are pretty boring to usually watch. They're starting to score more goals. They're starting to create more chances, so I do like the over in Calgary and Nashville. And I got to tell you, maybe this is because I lost a big pick on Florida on Friday, but I'm going right back to them here against the Maple Leafs. They get up for the games against the Maple Leafs. And this is what I'm going to do here, Jeff. I'm staying away from the team totals tonight, and we'll see what happens, or at least with this play at least. I'm going to split the puck line. I'm going to do a -1 line here. I'm going to do the money line and the puck line in this one. I think that's the way to go. You lay 2% on the money line and 2% on the -1.5, and you'll break even if they win the game by 1, or you'll make some really good money if they win the game by 2. It's a good team totals game as well. This offense has been rolling for Florida. They had close to 6 expected goals in that last game, so I do like that one quite a bit. And last but not least, there was one more I wanted to mention. Where is it? One more I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah. We just talked about Colorado. So Minnesota beat Colorado over the weekend, and then they lost to Buffalo the next game. How can that happen? How can you beat the Avalanche and then lose to Buffalo? That's pro sports in a nutshell for you. That's sports betting in a nutshell for you. Edmonton opened up -170. Money came in on the Wild, -150 now is the number with Edmonton. Little beer and pizza as well on Minnesota plus the price. Also over 2.5 team total. I know you and I love the 3.5s. You gave me an over 2.5 on the Wild the last time we spoke on my channel. After you said that, I loved it as well. I think we go back on the Wild team total as well. They're getting disrespected, their offense. I think if they don't win the game, Jeff, they could still score 3 on the. We could easily see them. This could be a 5-3 game. You know, they lose the game, but they still put up 3. It could definitely happen.
And that was the dog of the day, and they won outright. I'm loved, and hopefully everyone cashed on your show. We can't thank you enough. Shout out to Mr. Swag. Thank you so much for all the trust and support. Andrew Scroller going the whole time. Everyone knows at McInnis on X, at Wager Talk, WT.Buzz, /A&M. What do you have behind the paywall? I know it's $5 Tuesday.
Jeff, I love starting my Tuesdays with you. It's always a lot of fun. Sorry if I get rambling, but I look at that board and my eyes light up a little bit here. $5 Tuesday. NHL play for me. Going to have some NFL up in the afternoon. It's kind of great. At Wager Talk, we used to only be able to put up one play for $5. Not anymore. Tuesdays, you guys can go crazy. Every single play that we post and we release, $4 or $5. So whether Jeff decides to slide me a gem in college basketball, we'll find out. NBA, whatever it is, it's going to be $5 over at Wager Talk. So guys, make sure you show some love. Hit the like button on the video and retweet if you're watching. We have a lot of fun every single Tuesday.
Andrew, go do you. Thank you so much. I'll be watching and catch up soon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Andrew McInnis, go follow him at McInnis Picks at Wager Talk. Go check out his show starting in 5 minutes on Wager Talk TV. For myself, a great morning. We start off, of course, with Scotty Webb. We end with Andrew McInnis, ECSI VIPs, 2-0 start to the week. Great start to the week. To all the VIP members, on December 1st, yesterday, we send out the renewals for 2026. I can't thank you guys enough. Amazing follow-up. Everyone coming back for 2026 so far. We're starting our 11th year on January 1st, 2026. We are the 1% of the 1%ers. And truth be told, it hasn't been a great fall. Not a lot, none, no 17-3 runs, no 21-3 runs. I keep using the word traction. We had a great MLB playoffs and World Series. We've been doing well in NCAA hoops. That's our bread and butter, of course. Starting to gain a little traction on the NHL. We've done 0 NBA picks. So if you're looking for me for NBA action, that won't be till after the All-Star break. So if anyone's interested in the rest of 2025 in December and would like to get involved with us for 2026, our 11th year, send me a DM on X at EC Sports Investor. Send me a email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Say, hey, Jeff, how can I get on board? We can get you on board for pennies on the dollar. We look for long-term investors. This is not entertainment. I don't do this to have fun. I don't use the 4-letter word ESPN and all those others. I leave the entertainment department to them. Me, Scotty, Andrew, all our guests, we look to educate, and then we all look to win, grin, and profit together. So again, send me, Swag, what time does your show usually start? We have a morning show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, 9:15. Andrew comes on here every Tuesday around 10:30. Thursdays, we got college football at 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. 11 a.m. Ron Marmolevsky at 4:30 Eastern. Now I'm scrambling here. Fridays again, 9 a.m. I'm on Andrew's channel at 10:30 at McInnis Picks, and then back here at 11. So usually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday around 9:15 you can catch us, and then we have a follow-up show at 11. Andrew on Tuesdays, everything at 2:30. Again, interested for pennies on the dollar, your own ECSI VIP gym membership rest of 2025 into 2026, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's March Madness, whether it's to the All-Star break, or whether it's for the full year. I will accommodate what you're looking for. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Mr. Andrew McInnis at McInnis Picks at Wager Talk, we wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy yourselves. It's festive time, as they said in Seinfeld. Stay tuned.